I'm Tyler.
I'm Shorty.
I'm Ava.
And welcome
to the Inner Idiot.
This podcast contains graphic language, violence, and other things that you probably should not let your children listen to. Please enjoy.
You hear the music. That's right, you majestic what the fluffs. Put your ugly kids to bed, set the deuce loose. It is time for the Inner Idiot. This is like my favorite part of the week. That happens, what, twice, 3 times? I don't know. Once a week, sometimes
More frequently
twice.
than a period.
Yes. Way more frequently than a period, and that's a good thing, because periods aren't good things. I am your host, Tyler Havlin. That's right, I'm back, just for your listening enjoyment. And I am joined, as always, by my wonderful co-host, the Lord that's never bored, the commander of the comic books. No shirt, that's right, ladies. He's never wearing a shirt, and it's just for you, Lord Shorty Fresh in the flesh. 2 claps and a Ric Flair. Woo!
I don't know if it's just for them, but yeah, they can celebrate with me.
Yeah, we're going with it's just for them.
That's right.
He's got his sex hair kicking today, ladies.
That's right. That's right. You don't brush that shit. You wear that shit like a badge of honor, buddy.
That is fucking right. If I had hair, I would do it. Dude, I was bad when I had hair, though. Dude, I brushed that shit all the goddamn time. I wonder if that's why it fell out.
Maybe.
I was forever brushing
See,
my
normally they say, like, it stimulates the scalp or whatever, like brushing your hair frequently. They say it stimulates it. Now, I know putting a lot of stress on your hair is bad. Like, that's why they say, like, wearing hats and stuff like that, like really tight baseball caps and shit, is really bad. And that's why you see, like, people who put, like, really tight braids in, like, they have a really bad receding line. It's because they're putting too much stress on their the hair follicles and it pulls out.
I did not know that.
Yep.
I mean, I kind of, you always hear, they always said it was an old wives' tale about the hats. But I always blamed hats while I went bald because, I mean, I always had a hat on. If my hair wasn't in a ponytail, I had a hat on.
Yeah, I don't wear a hat. I mean, I wear a hat fairly often, but it's a loose hat. It is not tight.
Yeah, your hats are pretty loose.
Yeah.
I love your hats. I can't really rock them, but
You don't try hard enough.
I guess.
I bet you would look good in a flat cap.
What's a flat cap?
I don't have it in here, but that one, like, it looks like an old Newsboys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I always call them golfer hats.
Yeah.
I actually used to wear one that was wicker, though. It was a wicker flat cap.
Oh, wow, that just sounds, it sounds uncomfortable, but I imagine, well, no, it would have a fabric brim, so that wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, it had a lining, but I loved it.
Yeah.
It was a great conversation starter.
Sadly, people, we are missing our delightful Ava. She recently had a death in the family, so sympathies out to her and her folks.
Yeah.
But she would be here if she could. She already told me that.
Well, thoughts out to Ava. With that, let's get on to the top 5.
All right, cool beans.
Today's top 5 is top 5 people you love to hate.
Mm-hmm.
And you ain't got nothing for this list?
No.
I know you got that one you're holding on to.
Man, I don't want to start a fight.
All right. Not with me. He ain't going to start a fight with me. It's some of you listeners. But it's okay.
It'd be a vast majority of the listeners.
You think? I think they know how you feel about this, man.
I mean, probably, but...
All right. Well, that's all right. I won't.
I mean, if you want me to tell it, I'll say it.
Well, let's hear it. Come
all
on,
right, the
man.
only one, no number 5, no number 5, no 1 through 4, none of that shit, just one, is probably Stan Lee.
There we go. We try not to hold back too much.
Man, it's only because of what he did to the comics industry in the early 90s, and like when he came in and just assumed fucking creative control over everybody.
Right.
And like took a lot of credit for shit that he didn't do. Like, I tell people, or ask people, who created Captain America? They're all like, Stan Lee. No, motherfucker. Stan Lee was not. No, he didn't do that. I name one of the Submariner, not created by Stan Lee. There's a handful of characters that were not ever developed by Stan Lee.
Can you name one that actually was created by Stan Lee? Or that at least
off the top of my head, I feel like Thor might be the only one that he actually created.
But you can't even say he created Thor. Thor's been around North.
Well, the comic book rendition, I'll give him credit for that. But Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of controversy around Spider-Man because, like, there are sketches and stuff like that from other artists before Spider-Man came out or whatever. And if you listen to Stan Lee's early interviews about Spider-Man and stuff like that, he has one story, and then later in life, even after his book is written, he has a different story. And in his book, it's a different story. So, like, it doesn't, like, he contradicts himself several times.
Does he contradict himself in a form that he's just trying to fit a narrative, or does he contradict himself in like, you can tell this motherfucker's full of shit?
He contradicts himself in the way that how he created him. So, like, he'll come up, like, he said, like, when he first came out or whatever, and they were interviewing him, like, oh, how did you come up with this character or whatever? Like, it was, this is it. This is how I created this character. I was thinking, you're like, oh, I was looking at the wall and I saw a spider. I'm like, oh, that would be a cool superhero. Seriously, that was his original idea. He's like, that'd be cool superpowers, this power of a spider. And you can call him, he went through, Arachnakid or all kinds of shit. And he was like, nope, Spider-Man is it. And then, like, I don't know, in the mid-70s or 80s, he changed his narrative to where he was talking to another artist or whatever about this character. And that's, what happened or whatever. And then, like, in the late or, early 2000 or the mid to late 90s or even early 2000s, it changed again. So, like, how does your character creation process change 3 fucking times from the time you created this motherfucker?
Yeah,
it doesn't.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
And
there's a lot of artists and stuff who come out and straight up come out and said, especially like in the 70s and 80s, that were like, this was my creation, but Stan Lee took it and put his fucking name on it. Because at the time, Marvel had a thing where, like, if you created a character and you worked at Marvel, you don't own any rights to that. And so, like, all these people, a lot of people were getting, their characters stripped away from them, and they had no creative rights or creative control or anything like that. And it was only to hold those characters or whatever. And that's how we actually got, like, Image, we got Dark Horse, we got Boom Studios. A lot of those really small-time comic book distributors, or creator companies, that's how they got started, is because they were leaving some of the big channels. Now, DC is all, like, DC, don't get me wrong, DC has its own, like, issues or whatever, but it was, like, no matter what, they straight up said, like, your name's going to go on this, no if and or buts. But from, like, mid-80s or even early 70s to the late 90s or whatever, Stan Lee was putting his name on every single book that came out, even if he had no part of it, because he was the like, editor-in-chief.
Right.
Even if he didn't edit it himself, it would be Stan Lee presents Marvel's Spider-Man, or Stan Lee presents Marvel's Captain America, or whatever. It was Stan Lee's. And that's why his name got so fucking huge. And then in the mid-90s, he sued Marvel, the company that was his fucking own, like, who he owned. Like, he did that just so he could get more of a paycheck. And I think that's, like, why the fuck?
Right. You're already getting credit for all this shit that you didn't even do. Now you want more.
Yeah. I mean, it's a huge controversy, and, like, there's little to back it up, or whatever. But, like, especially in his later age where he starts, like, slipping on some of the shit that, like, oh, you actually didn't do that.
I mean, he's old. He gets
interesting.
Pass.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways, here's my top 5. And I feel like you're going to agree with me on a couple of these. And after that conversation, I feel like you might agree with me on my number 3. But here's my number 5.
Okay.
And my number 5 has a little bit of a deeper issue to it. So my number 5 is Nickelback. All right? Everybody hates Nickelback, right?
Yeah.
You hate them?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Here's the thing. I used to like Nickelback. All right? Like, I would listen to their music. And then one day, everybody's like, oh, just making fun of Nickelback. And somewhere in that mess, like, my brain transformed. It's like, nah, Nickelback sucks. I can't even listen to them. Like, I go back and I listen to something that I liked by them. I'm like, no, this really is fucking bad. But here's the thing. Like, is it bad? Or did fucking society brainwash me? Like, do I hate Nickelback because society says you gotta hate Nickelback? Poor fucking Nickelback.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I didn't like him from the get-go. Like, they came out, and I'm like, this guy sounds like shit. Like, I don't like his voice. It has nothing to do with, like, the rest of their music and shit like that. Don't get me wrong, it's very like, I don't know, I guess early 2000s, 90s party rock.
Right.
And I'm not a fan of that genre, so I'm not a fan of party rock.
Their early stuff I liked, but and that's before they caught all the hate. But it makes you wonder, like, because I've always prided myself in thinking, you know what, I can't be that easily influenced. Like, I see commercials, that doesn't make me want to go out and buy this, or you know, just because your opinion's this, it doesn't make my opinion that. And then I think of Nickelback. It's like, well, holy fuck, am I that much of a sheep? All right, well, anyways, number 4 is Baron von Rotten.
Yeah, I have no idea who that is.
What? This motherfucker, dude, what he did to this other poor soul. Like, he framed him for some just fucked up shit. And let me tell you what, Roger Rabbit didn't do none of that to deserve it.
Oh,
All right.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I know who you're talking
So anybody who was ever wondering who actually framed Roger Rabbit, it was Baron von Rotten.
Yep.
Fuck him.
The Baron. I got you. I was like, what the hell? Like,
Number 3 is Spider-Man.
okay.
I cannot fucking stand Spider-Man.
Why?
A plethora of reasons.
Okay, give me one.
All right, for one, like, does he shoot webs or does he have a gadget that shoots webs? Which is it?
I mean, again, like, these comic books these characters have been around for, you know, at this point in time, nearly 50, 60 years. Mm-hmm. So, like, it has changed. Originally, it was a mechanical prosthetic that shot the webs.
Okay, well, to me, that's the only thing outside of his suit that makes him like a goddamn spider. I don't care if he can crawl on the fucking wall. He ain't got 8 legs. He ain't got a bunch of fucking eyes. He ain't furry. If he can't actually shoot webs, or he doesn't have 8 legs, the motherfucker don't lay eggs. Like,
Yeah.
so what? Why is he a goddamn spider? Because he got bit by a spider? Well, guess what? I was born out of a vagina, but I'm not goddamn vagina man.
No, we just call you Pussy Man.
Yeah, whatever. I mean,
But no, there's been comic book iterations, and even in the animated show, they did a really good job with it. Is where like an episode and issue where he grew 8 legs or 4 more legs or 4 more arms or something like that, and he actually like his face like disformed and turned like he had like fucking like pincers and shit, and his eyes he grew multiple eyes and shit. It was fucking cool, dude. Like it was monstrous as fuck.
I'm just not a fan of Spider-Man.
I feel like that was in the 80s when the comic books got really dark.
Yeah.
But
I don't like his outfit. I think his outfit is just straight doo-doo juice. I don't know. I just don't like him. He's not even a man. He's a little boy. He's a teenager. He's Spider-Teen.
well,
I mean, yeah, he grows up eventually, but he was awfully presumptuous to fucking make the claim, I'm Spider-Man. God damn it, you ain't a man. You're a fucking kid.
When you're a teenager, now let me hit you with this. When you're a teenager, you were like, I'm a man. I'm not a boy anymore.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I
probably.
said that to my mom at least fucking twice a day. God damn it, Mom, I'm a man.
Exactly right. So you know what I'm saying? So like he's wanting that badge of honor or whatever.
Yeah,
And when he got his superpowers, he was like 18 or some shit because he was still in high school.
yeah.
So
I thought he was like a freshman or something.
he wasn't that young. He was still in high school though. And then later, of course, they changed it to college and shit like that because he wanted to pursue college and wanted to be an investigative journalist or some shit. I don't fucking remember.
He cheated, man. That's how he got his pictures. He's just out here taking selfies and selling them.
He was the original OnlyFans.
That's right. He was the original Instagram model.
That's right.
Fucking Spider-Man. My number 2. So, my number 2 and number 1. Number 2, I used to fucking hate Justin Bieber. Couldn't stand this little motherfucker. But let me tell you what. I fucking love this guy now. I sing all his songs. But I fucking loved to hate him, and now I hate that I love the motherfucker. Dude, he makes the best, catchiest music. I don't care. What are they called?
Belieber.
Yeah, I'm a believer. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck.
Hey man, you do whatever you want. So you like this guy, but you hate the fact that you love him?
Yes.
Okay.
Now here's my number 1.
So I could probably do a list of that.
And my number 1 is I woke up the other day. I went to work. And I started, like, because I saw a little video online, so I had to look at it. My number 1 is Jake Paul. Do you know who Jake Paul is?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's that one YouTuber that went fucking UFC or whatever it is, right?
Boxing.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
And here's my thing. Like, he is douchey as douchey can be, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's look at this. A lot of people hate me. And I don't get paid because these motherfuckers hate me. Let me tell you what. This motherfucker, so many people hate him. But they're paying to hate him.
Yeah.
He's getting paid off of people hating him.
Mm-hmm.
People are buying these pay-per-views just to hope to see him get knocked out.
Yeah.
Right? Like, fuck. If I could get paid by the people that hate me, that'd be great. I'd be making a lot more money than what I'm making because there's a lot more people that dislike me in this world than like me. Look, I think in real life this motherfucker's probably not as douchey as he puts on. I really believe that. I think he's probably fucking super smart. Maybe not like book smart, but dude has some common sense about him.
You have to be smart to make it like there is a level of intelligence that you have to have in order to be on YouTube and be popular. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just be a fucking flaming retard and get right up there. Now, don't get me wrong, you probably can. You know what I'm saying? People love watching stupid people get hurt and all kinds of silly shit. But like, if you're doing like funny content or anything like that, there's got to be a level of intelligence with it.
Well, see, I'd never even seen any of his content. And he's only 24, but I hated him for some reason. I mean, he just looks flamboyant and pompous. Like, I mean, that's who he is.
Sure.
But just quick rundown. Jake Joseph Paul is an American YouTuber, internet personality, actor, rapper, and boxer. He initially rose to fame on Vine before playing the role of Dirk Mann on the Disney Channel series Bizaardvark for 2 seasons. This motherfucker's 24 years old, and he's got his start on Vine. Vine has not been around for how long? 8 years.
Yeah, 7 or 8 years.
So this motherfucker was making money off Vine before he was even a man. Like, he was probably 16, 17.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's when most YouTubers got big. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the OG YouTubers, they got big when they were, 16, 17 years old because they were passionate about one thing. And it was, whether it be funny or just some weird internet content, like Game Theory, he started that channel when he was 15, and it was just because he wanted to, like, there was a lot of shit that to him that didn't add up in some of the video games or whatever, and that's what he started doing. He started talking about it, and now he's one of the most popular channels on YouTube.
Nice. Well, when this episode's over, I want you to check out Got Your Hat.
Okay.
Have you heard of, you know who Floyd Mayweather is, right?
Yeah.
All right, he's 50-0, he's a boxer. So Jake Paul's brother is going to be fighting Floyd Mayweather.
Okay.
Well, they had the face-off, the press conference. Jake Paul straight snatched this motherfucker's hat right off his head. Made for great content, right? He's even got a Got Your Hat tattoo right now. It's a douchey move, but it's fucking genius, and it's hilarious.
Stupid.
All right? But these boxing purists and just casual fans of boxing, I mean, because really anymore, like, there really isn't a casual fan to boxing. Jake Paul is bringing boxing casual fans. Mm-hmm. He is so good for the sport, and a lot of people aren't going to want to admit that. But he's bringing relevance back to the sport. And for me, like, boxing's always had a place in my heart. That's the first sport I ever got paid to do. I remember I was 16. I was about to turn 17. And my coach is like, you know what? You want to go fight at Peel's Palace? They'll give you $200 just to show up.
Hell yeah.
Just change your name. Tell them you're 19. So at 16, here I am fighting at Peel's Palace. It's just this bar in Erlanger just filled with smoke. It's dark, and I'm 16 beating the bloody fuck out of somebody.
Hell yeah.
And it was fucking great. But that was when I knew. I was like, you know what? Fighting's my thing. I fucking love it. But anyways, I digress. Jake Paul. Until 3 days ago, I hated this motherfucker. Now I love him.
So again, this is one of those people you hate you hate that you love them.
Yes.
Okay, see, this list is switched.
Well, because I used to love to hate this motherfucker.
Right.
And I couldn't even really have told you why.
Right.
The masses hate him. So, you know what? He looks douchey. I hate him too.
I think that's a popular thing with like Superman. A lot of people hate Superman, or see like it's like when Wes was on here, he's that other ground. Like people who love Superman hate Batman. People who love Batman hate Superman, and like I don't get it.
They're both great to me.
They are great.
Fuck. I'd love to be the one of them. Speaking of Superman and Batman, oh man, this is completely derailed, but have you seen Invincible yet?
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Dude, that shit is amazing. I'm on like episode 4, but the parallels between the Guardians of the Guardians and the Justice League, the parallels are just so close to each other.
Oh yeah, that was the way it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Like, and it's cool, man. Like I've said before, like they're getting into the obscure shit now.
Mm-hmm. So
like when Invincible come out, Camden was watching it downstairs, and I come walking in from my wood shop, and I see it, and I'm sitting there looking at it, and I'm like, what the fuck are you watching? He's like, Invincible. How do you not know what this is? I'm like, what do you mean? How do I not know? And he was like, it's a comic book. I'm like, and? I was like, dude, we're getting into weird shit now. Like, they've already done all the popular stuff. Everything in Marvel that was popular, they were done with fucking 8 years ago. They didn't have anything left. So they started reaching into the silly shit. DC, like, they haven't hit the surface on DC yet. So that's the kind of the cool thing. As far as the, like, live action stuff goes. Now, the anime series and stuff, they get weird. But, like, as far as other media and stuff, like The Boys, Walking Dead, like, when Walking Dead first came out, I thought it was going to fail. Because I thought the comic book was trash.
Really?
Yeah. I actually read, and I thought the same thing about Umbrella Academy. I thought the comic book for that was trash.
I never read the comic, but I think the show is amazing. I've not watched season 2
That's
yet.
what everybody tells me, but like I hated the comic book. I thought it was absolute garbage. And The Boys, honestly, to me it wasn't that good. I didn't like the
I like The Boys.
I like the TV show, but I don't like the comic book.
Never read the comic.
But it's those are like the last of the mainstream. And now there's a couple other mainstream books that haven't had any content made yet. So like it's only a matter of time before we see those. But like we're getting into the really weird shit. Like
Jupiter's Legacy just dropped on Netflix, and it's supposed to be really good.
See, I don't know what that is.
Check it out, man. I'm gonna be watching it as soon as I finish Invincible.
And that's a comic book thing?
Yeah.
Based off of a comic book. Hell yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But I mean, it's cool, man. Like I'm starting to see a lot of the other shit that don't get a lot of fucking press or limelight and stuff like that. And it's actually giving it's a lot of hope and help for these independent creative studios. So like Boom Studios, which I think is Invincible. I think it's Boom Studios, and I think IGM is Walking Dead.
Well, I'm pretty sure that didn't Invincible and Walking Dead come from the same place?
I don't think so.
Because I'm pretty sure the person who created Walking Dead created Invincible.
Maybe. I'd have to look it up.
I could be way off. I could be wrong.
But I mean, it's cool just to see those. It's just cool to see those like independent studios get more recognition and give them more money to do more great content. You know what I'm saying? Because like the Invincible book, again, I've never read it. It might be fucking phenomenal. Like if it's anything like the TV show, I guarantee it's fucking great. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be one of those things where it's just interesting to see what comes of it. And like slowly these other studios are going to blow up, and I can't wait. Because it's been, I mean, we haven't had a third real competitor in the comic book industry.
Since Image.
Well, no, Image is still around, but it's like we haven't had a real competitor since the fucking 50s or 60s, dude. Like it's been a long time because everybody kept getting bought by either Marvel or DC. So like they haven't, every time they would get slightly big, DC or Marvel would vie for the power and try to get that creative source and just consume that smaller company. And so like it was hard for them to do that. Now some studios still get the recognition. Like you don't see like Milestone no longer exists, and that's where Static, Icon, Vixen, and all those guys come from. And then you have characters like the Endless, like Lucifer, like that's from the Vertigo line, and those are Vertigo comics. And that is owned by DC, but when DC puts those books out, it says DC/Vertigo.
Okay.
So, like, you have the DC logo, then underneath really big, it says Vertigo on it. So you know it's a Vertigo book. And really, that's only because the Vertigo books are adult-themed. They're not meant for, like, teenagers. Like, all books are rated T for teen. Like, they're not rated for fucking K for kids or E for everyone.
Right.
They're not. No, that doesn't exist. When people say comic books are for kids, like, I want to smack them in the goddamn mouth. Like, that's a group of people I fucking hate. I love to hate those motherfuckers. They're like, oh, comic books are for kids. Fuck you. No, it ain't. I just read fucking Batwoman's fucking pussy getting chowed on. You're going to tell me that shit's for kids? Like, I'll never forget that book.
Which one was it?
It was a fucking Batwoman issue, like, back from 2013 or whatever. And, like, she hooks up with a chick, and, like, you see Batwoman having a fucking orgasm, fucking getting eat out by her fucking girlfriend. I was like, God damn, this isn't a comic book.
And that was, what, 2013? So
Yeah.
you were young reading that.
Oh, yeah, I was like, oh.
I hope Mama Hoffman never found that one.
No. She didn't read my book. She knew better.
All right, well, let's take a break.
All right.
And then we're going to come back for this day in history.
Okay.
Yay.
Hey, Ty, if you wanted to make a podcast, how would you do it?
Spotify Podcasters app, of course, or hell, even the website.
Do they have any way you can edit audio and help with organizing your episodes?
All that and more. You can reach out to listeners and have feedback with their Q&A feature, and it distributes it to all other major places you listen to podcasts.
I just looked, and they got a video podcast set up and editing tools here, too.
So all you got to do is sign up at SpotifyForPodcasters.com or get the app, and you're done.
Damn, it's just that easy.
It is May 10th, 2020, dumb. That's right. It's a day after Mother's Day. And we're going to say it again. Happy Mother's Day to all you mamas out there.
Happy Mother's Day.
All right. There's some holidays today.
Oh, boy.
It is National Clean Your Room Day. That's right. It needs to be National Clean the Studio Day. When that day hits, I'm going to help you straighten up in here.
I already started moving stuff around.
Yeah, I've noticed. This big pile that was behind me is now
A small pile.
a medium pile.
It is a medium pile.
It's National Shrimp Day.
Shrimp?
I love me some fucking shrimp.
Me too, dude.
Oh,
I love
man.
fucking popcorn shrimp. Ooh.
And we're talking about the food, not the little pee-pees, people.
I love my shrimp.
I love my shrimp too. Goddamn thunder thimble.
Thunder thimble.
Bringing down the hammer.
I like to say I have a tuna can.
The tuna can.
I might not hit bottom, but by golly, I'll stretch the sides.
That's right, dude. I heard the greatest name for a pee-pee I've ever heard, and that is girthworm.
Girthworm?
Girthworm.
That's a good one. That is a good one. I
So
like
then
that.
today I also came up with a vaginal voyager.
Vaginal Voyager. That's a good
Yes.
one. I like that.
All right. It is also National Women's Checkup Day.
Check up. Go get a mammogram. Go get a, what is it called? Pap smear? Is that right?
Pap smear. I don't
Pap
know.
smear?
Reba, if you're listening, I'm not a doctor, but I will take a look later. Don't worry. We're going to go on a fantastic voyage.
That's right.
All right. So that is today's holidays.
All right.
Also, some shit happened in history on this day.
It did.
All right. Let's hear what the fuck happened. All right. In May 10th, 1894, the Hong Kong government declares port is infected with the plague. The outbreak will go on to kill 20,489 people over 29 years.
What is this?
The plague.
Oh, just the fucking plague.
With the plague.
Neat.
Yeah, I guess that's one word for it. Neat.
I mean, whatever.
I mean, imagine that today. Like, what if they would have got the Rona in fucking 1894?
It probably wouldn't have been a big deal because everyone would be like, it's the flu.
Right. Pretty much.
Because the flu kills thousands every year. So it wouldn't have made no difference.
Right. And I'm not against the vaccine. I know you're not really against it either. It's either way you want to go. But like, we don't shame people for not getting the flu vaccine.
Right.
I've never heard anybody shamed for not getting it.
Yeah. I know people who are like, I would never get it. I'm like, okay, cool. That's your prerogative. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. But you say to a motherfucker, I'm not getting the fucking Rona vaccine. I heard somebody say that once in a group of people at work. And I just kind of like, I don't want to be present for this conversation. I don't. Because I don't give a fuck if they do or not. I just don't want to hear all these other fucking sitting on their high horse motherfuckers talk down to them.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fucking choice.
And it's funny because depending on where you go, it's either like a group of people that are like, why don't you get the vaccine? Or people like, never get the vaccine.
Right. Like,
It's fucking stupid.
why can't we all just agree, like, get it if you fucking want it?
Right.
If you don't, cool, whatever.
Yep.
All right, 1908, the first Mother's Day was observed in your hometown, or your family's hometown of Philadelphia.
Hell yeah.
So I guess that's where Mother's Day started.
You know, I think Mother's Day, like, I recently heard the history of it. And it was like, you know, to improve work conditions for women.
That's what it was?
I think so.
Huh.
Seriously. I don't know. I'll have to recheck up on it and then, like, fucking, like, maybe next episode I'll bring it up. Because I don't have all that information I don't feel like reading right now.
So it wasn't even about, oh, you pushed this little child out your fucking vaginal canal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah,
It was because in, like, World War, like, I think it started around World War II or World War One, where, like, a lot of the workforce was predominantly women because all the men were out fighting and shit.
Well, the first Mother's Day was 1908.
That would have been World War One, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's why. Like seriously, I think that's what it was, is to provide better work conditions for women, because most of the women were mothers because their sons and husbands were out fighting in the war because the draft hasn't been implemented yet for women. So I think that's really what it was.
Neat.
Yeah. What the fuck fact for you?
Look at that. What the fuck fact and a history lesson.
There you go.
All right, 1933, Nazis staged public book burnings in Germany. Let's fast forward to 2021. Now, back then, like this didn't catch a lot of heat. Like, they're burning books, right? What could we equate that to today?
Cancel culture.
That too, but like, so they're burning books, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Cancel culture all the fucking way. But what would be the equivalent to that today? Burning books in, what year did I say? 1933? Yeah, burning books in 1933. What are we burning in 2021 that is something like that?
Beats me, dude.
Because I was trying to make this comparison in my head. Are we smashing computers? Like, is that what we're doing? But I really don't even feel like that.
It won't delete the problem because of the internet.
Right.
Like, it's right. Like, we're in the day and age where it's almost impossible to delete the internet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we couldn't destroy it. Somebody has.
Yeah, it's in the goddamn cloud.
Yeah, exactly right. Seriously. And that's a big thing. Now, you can go around, like, if you set off a major EMP, like 4 or 5 major EMP bombs across the world, like one in New York, one in fucking, one in, like, San Diego or California or whatever, and, like, a couple others well-placed around the world, you could really fuck up, like, just the world in general. Because, like, you're going to shut off electricity, and people can't survive without that shit.
Not me, dude.
Right.
I have to have electricity.
Exactly right.
I couldn't be a goddamn pilgrim.
And at that point, like, you're also shutting down the internet and stuff like that, so you can't Google, like, hey,
How do I make a fire?
Yeah, how do I do this? How do I do that? Like, all these fucking shitty ass survival tips that nobody knows how to do. That's why I'm glad I'm kind of glad we live in Kentucky. I can drive 45 minutes south, and, like, I have friends who live in the South who are a bunch of hillbillies. I have other skills that I can provide them. We all can help each other.
Right. But yeah, I racked my brain for this. Like, what is the equivalent? And there is none. Because
The equivalent seriously is cancel culture. Because that's what the Nazis were trying to do. They were trying to cancel that culture. They were trying to get rid of all that information that disproved or whatever. Like, I mean, fuck, during the Crusades and shit, they were burning other people's literature and stuff like that. They were burning books. Like, hell, the Christians did it in the fucking...
the Crusades?
60s and 80s of the 1960s, 1970s, 1980s. They were burning books of fucking fantasy literature.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
They were going through burning all this culture that they didn't want in, like, to influence their children and all this other shit. Like, it's of the devil. Satan provided it. No, motherfucker, it's fantasy.
That's right. I'm going to do some homework myself on this. And I really want to think, like, is there... What is cancel culture doing to us today that in in 20 years, in 70 years, in 100 years, we're going to look back and be like people thought that was normal. Like that was like somebody made an excuse for this to say it was okay. Because nobody today is going to look back and say in 1933 it was okay for you to burn books.
Right.
Nobody's going to agree with that.
Well, we're gonna get into a state of hyper fear. I think is what's gonna happen. Like people are gonna be too afraid to say things. People are gonna be too afraid to do things. That it's gonna be weird for us to like go out and do like normal shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what's gonna be weird. Is people are gonna be reading about it like, oh my god, I can't believe we did this.
Well, I'm gonna tell you now, comedy in 2021 is like trying to navigate a fucking minefield.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Now on our level, I can say what I want to say and get away with it.
Sure.
But the moment I go out and I get on a stage and I say some of the shit I have to say with no malice in my heart whatsoever.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff I say, there is nothing malicious behind it. It's usually a play on words or some kind of fucked up pun or anything like that. Like I don't say that from a mean spot. I say that from a spot I want to make you chuckle.
Right.
I say that from a spot that this makes me chuckle.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You can't do that.
No, you're
anymore.
absolutely right. And I've heard that from other comedians and stuff like that. It's very difficult to navigate this fucking PC culture because everybody doesn't like, you don't want to actually offend anyone. You just want to poke fun.
Right.
And that's the difficulty. People don't understand the difference. And it's fucking, I can only imagine how frustrating it is.
And so the other day, I'm on Twitter because I spend a lot of time on Twitter, and obviously I don't spend a lot of time adjusting my microphone because that just
you're terrible at that. I saw that.
Right? So I'm on there, and Twitter's great. It gives us an algorithm to put it simply, to where if you run a podcast on Twitter, you see it when somebody asks for podcast recommendations. Mm-hmm. All right. Now here's my thought behind this. I have no problem dropping recommendations in complete strangers' inboxes.
Sure.
And here's why. Because for one, if you watch TV, if you watch YouTube, if you listen to the damn radio, you hear commercials all the goddamn time. This is my chance to give you a commercial. 98 out of 100 of you are just going to keep moving on. If I can grab 2 of you, fucking A. That's great. But you look at what some of these people do, and they put this post just to increase their engagement.
Sure.
Right? Because they know podcasters are going to flood to this. They're going to get their engagement level on their Twitter account up, which is going to make them more visible.
Okay.
So you get some of these people that do this, and then they badmouth everybody that's putting their suggestions in. Calling them bots, calling them this, saying whatever, like, you guys are fucking vultures. Look, if my fucking house is on fire, and I'm like, somebody please put my house out, and a goddamn firefighter comes to put my house out, I'm like, no, not you. Not you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're asking for podcast recommendations, that's what you're getting. But anyways, back to the cancel culture part of this. Is you see these people like, oh, these people need to stop, this and that. Like, I can't believe blah, blah, blah. So out of curiosity, because I like to laugh at people, I will click on that profile and I will look through their shit. And then I will see where they're complaining about somebody else telling them how they should feel or things they should do. It's like, cancel culture, you're hypocrites, y'all. That's what you are.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of it, man. Because I hear, like, I mean, a lot of, like, the LGBTQ community, you know, like, I have no real hate for them other than, like, their desire to, like, force everyone else into thinking their way, which is exactly what they're against. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think you could say the community, because, I mean, I know plenty.
Well, I'm not saying, like, I'm saying like, okay, so an individual is okay. The masses are retarded. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you have a group of people, when you have a large group of people of any singular fucking ideology, they are an idiot. Like, that entire group. That entire group's an idiot and cannot function properly. The individual in that group, the one person, might be intelligent, might be well thought out and all that other shit, but the whole group of them are fucking retarded. They can't operate. They don't know how to do things. They try to go left and right at the same time, straight and back, all kinds of stupid shit. They can't make up their own fucking mind. Like, they are retarded. That's when I say the community, like, a large part of the community is fucking retarded. They want you to accept who they are, when they are, exactly how you fucking, like, right then and there. But then that individual is like, I really don't care.
Okay,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
I get what you're saying.
And,
Yeah,
like,
I understand.
so, like, the community at large wants people to accept them as whatever the fuck they decide that they are. You know what I'm saying? Or, feel like they are. If a man feels like he's a woman, he wants to be treated as a woman, he'll simply say that or whatever. And he will tell, like, and some of them are so arrogant that they were like, you have to call me that or else you're fucking transphobic or, whatever the fuck. But then when you have on the opposite side of that fence, you have people who are like, I'm not going to call you that because you are biologically not that. You aren't this. You know what I'm saying? So literally you have two sides of the goddamn coin fighting the same fucking fight, but on opposite reasons. And to me, it's fucking retarded. Like, if you want to be called something, by golly, I'll call you something. Right. However, if you want to change your fucking name, if you wanted to go by anything but Tyler, it is going to take me years to fucking do that.
And that's not by choice. That's just because that's what you're used to calling me.
Exactly right. But even like, a friend of mine, she went through the transition. She actually got surgery and all this other shit. It is now a woman. But I still refer to her as a him because in my brain, that's the way it was. Now, she has only recently transitioned. Mm-hmm. I keep wanting to say transformed. But yeah, they recently went through the transition, like literally like 6 months ago, and it is difficult for me to like, and even like I went to go see her, like we had lunch the other day, and it was difficult for me to say like, oh, this is my buddy, and
you can still say buddy.
I know that, and like I fucked up, and I said, this is my buddy Zach, and they were like, it's not Zach anymore. God damn it! Like you're taking something like Camden. Like, I was introduced to him as Cupcake.
Right.
And, like, I shortened it to Cake because I didn't feel like fucking enunciating 2 syllables.
Right.
But then, like, when we started, like, the first time we hung outside of work, he's like, hey, can you refer to me as Camden? I will try. I give you no guarantees and promises. Now, we've been hanging outside of work for the better part of 4 years. And I am just now getting in the habit of being able to call him Camden on a regular basis.
Well, the fact that we're having this conversation and the slip-ups you've made in this conversation and corrected yourself.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that shows your growth, your willingness to be like, I'm trying. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's what some people don't understand is that I'm trying.
Yeah.
But it is still foreign in my head, so I have to adjust. You know, to meet you where you want to be. I have no problem meeting you where you want to be.
And to be fair, like, Zach or now Mary, like, she wants me to, like, she asked me very nicely, like, because I went, like, right before the surgery, I went over there and I was still calling, I was just saying Zach, because it's fucking name. Now, I've known for, like, 2 years that she wants to go by Mary. I just don't care. Like, it's so difficult for me to do that, especially when I look at your face and I see Tyler. I'm not going to be able to call you anything else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, after the surgery, like, he did all kinds of silly shit. Like, they fucked his face up. He is no longer a dude. It looks like a fucking woman. So, I mean, cool. They did a good job. But, like, it is still fucking, like, it's still weird to me.
Right.
It's very difficult.
It's still the same person you knew. So, for you, it's hard to take that name away and add in one.
And it makes it very awkward when I talk about how we used to sword fight at the urinal.
Well, and I get it because a lot of people, everywhere I go, somebody's been introduced to me as a different name.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like, a lot of people call me Spencer. So, same thing. Like,
sure.
And then they hear you or most of my friends call me Tyler. And they're like, well, what do you want to be called? I really don't care what you call me.
Right.
I mean, just whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just one of those things like, this is how I met you, so this is what is going to first pop into my head.
Right.
All right. Anyways, we're on this day in history.
Oh, wow. Fuck.
Right? All right. In 2016, Indian Fertility Clinic, this is fucking astonishing. Indian Fertility Clinic announces that a 70-year-old woman has successfully gave birth to a baby boy.
So, is it like Native American Indians or like the Indians?
Dot not feather.
Dot not feather.
Dot not feather. Is that bad to say? I don't think it's bad. Like dot not feather, feather not dot. Like dot not feather.
No, I understand. I don't know if it's bad.
If that's offensive, look, sorry, but that was the easiest way to fucking
Yeah.
describe.
I understood. All
right, I got one more in this day in history, and this one's kind of scary.
Oh.
And I've never heard about this either.
Okay.
And this is 3 years old. 3 years ago today.
Exciting.
No, yeah, 3 years. Oh wow, maths people, I'm good at it. All right, in 2018, on May 10th, China announces plans to the world's largest weather control mechanism.
Neat.
Rain-inducing machines for the Tibetan Plateau, area the size of Alaska.
Neat.
They have a fucking machine that can create weather.
Good.
Have you heard about this?
No.
I have not. And I only got a hold of this one. This was the last one I got a hold of today. And I was like, God, I want to know more about this. So I shallow dive. You're just getting the surface here today, people. But I wasn't able to research it because it was the last thing I grabbed.
Right.
You know, I would grab something yesterday, the day before, but this was the last thing I grabbed today. And I am so sad that I didn't find this at very, very latest yesterday.
Right.
Because I want to know more about this. This is kind of scary, dude. Like,
Why?
there is a goddamn supervillain in the making. That's what I see of this. Like, fuck you, world. I'm tornado here, tsunami here, brush fire here. Oh, you
now
need
see,
your
like
crops
I
to
don't
grow?
think like
no
okay.
rain for you.
No, I don't think tsunamis are not necessarily weather. Like, I know it can be helped, or like, it can be caused by weather, but I don't think just necessarily like, oh, here's the tsunami button, and like the tsunami happens, you know, like rain and shit like that. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
The tsunami is a natural disaster.
Yeah, it is, but it's not. I don't necessarily claim it as weather. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
A fucking volcano is a natural disaster.
Right. Okay, I see it. Well, what the fuck's it called? They always name them after women. Hurricanes. That's weather.
Yeah, see, that's a bad one.
All right. Well, we'll switch the tsunami button to a hurricane button.
There you go.
Does that work for you?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. We're gonna take a fucking break, and I'm gonna build a hurricane button, and I'm gonna push it right over your goddamn house. No, I'm not, cause the studio's in your house. We need the studio.
See, that's how you create a supervillain, is by somebody like mistakenly hitting a button and destroying something that I love. I'm just gonna go fucking nuts. Like I'm gonna go around killing people. Fucking goddamn it! All my statues.
Who hit the hurricane button? hit the other button. It stops it.
Yeah.
Do you love podcasts? Of course you do. That's why you're here. But you know what's even better than listening to a podcast? Making your own. That's right, and Anchor makes it simple. I'm your favorite host, MC Tyler Havlin, and I'm telling you, go download the Anchor app today, Anchor FM. They have all the tools you need to get started today. And best part is, it's totally free. They push it out to all the major platforms like Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. So get started today, people. Go download the app, Anchor FM. I'll wait. Do it now. And again, thoughts go out to Ava today. She's our outer idiot of the day.
Yeah.
She's going through it right now, people. So she will be back. She'll be back next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And then this Saturday, we got a special guest coming on, hopefully.
Yep.
Fingers crossed. Saturdays are for guests. And that's it for today, people.
Yeah, that's it. I don't have a pool. So
in the meantime,
in the betweens time,
when life gives you lemons, just be glad it wasn't herpes. Cue the music. We out.
bye guys.